talking about.
Make the whole world know about your business. Advertise with Zimnet Radio. Email marketing@zimnetradio.com. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. You are listening to DJ Sodza live on Zimnet Radio.
It is a Thursday, and you know what that means. It's a men's corner show with yours truly, DJ Sodza.
You're listening to Zimbabwe's finest radio station, broadcasting worldwide. Zimnet Radio, the people's choice.
Lleno de matero, no será ese nosotros, patrona como venguita, ahora es en ese curo, llene revano, cote maten de sete, sacanangan tangano, padara es amno tenga, nenzera sacanaka, Samunenge matura Badara izamno tenga Nenzira zakanaka Moto terese nozote Samunenge matura Tisare tinotura Lleno de macedo Sotera ese nozote Sotura como venguita Ahora es en el chica Kuru jenge verano Cote más en vestite Sacanangan sangano Tisa ete cheupomwe Mondo eche mrenga Tesa nese vasungwa Vatinenge tabata Tisa ete cheupomwe Mondo eche mrenga Tesa nese vasungwa Vatinenge tabata Tesa ete notora Lleno de macero Será ese nosotros Satura como venguita Ahora es en este curo Llene revano Cote más en defese Sacanangan sangano Aya neo mashoko Akata urakare Naevo mamao Vachitesesa Aya neo mashoko Akata urakare Naevo mamao Vachitesesa Tesa etinotora Lleno de matero Será ese nosotros Satura como venguita Ahora es en este Kuro llene revano Cote más en vestite Sacanangan sangano Kunende hace maso ya Después de batanato Era en temoyote Nenzira sacanaka Kunende hace maso ya Después de batanato Era en temoyote Nenzira sacanaka Tesa tinotora Lleno de matero Será ese nosotros Satura como venguita Ahora es en ese curo Llene revano kuti matendesese zvakanaka msangano badara ezvamunotenga nenzira dzakanaka.
Muri yeZimbabwe ndo zvazvinenge. Much for choosing Zimnet Radio and also for listening. Very proud basically to be here every Thursday and present the show. I know that all these guys who take their time to be with us here every Thursday to discuss things that are happening in Zimbabwe, things that affect our life. I know that some people might want to say that we don't want to talk a little bit about politics because politics is indeed a dirty game. But whether you love it, whether you don't like it, politics is what shapes our life. And if you don't participate in it, you can't go out there and now say, oh, you got to join in and participate and share your thoughts with everyone here. But what I might have to do here, and this actually is going to delay the podcast actually for tomorrow. So I think probably the podcast will be probably Saturday at the earliest, because what I'm going to say now, I don't really want it to go on podcast. I just want those that are listening right now who can help this family. And let me just read a message that I got from one of our listeners here. DJ, when you go shopping, you please do share with your listeners. And if anyone would like to help, would like to donate anything, it's always welcome. This is a fellow Zimbabwean who took his life yesterday here in the United Kingdom, in Sheffield. It reads, so a friend set up this GoFundMe account that if anyone wants to donate anything there towards the repatriation of his remains to Zimbabwe, you can go and donate there. He is writing here, Kwanzi Nelson Glove committed suicide on the 15th of May 2018 and left 2 young kids. The youngest son discovered him hanging in the toilet. I've known Nelson for 23 years and he just turned 44 years on the 13th of May 2018. A few hours before his death, I spoke to him on his mobile phone, and he was looking forward to complete his dissertation and graduate from York University. He never indicated or shown any sign of distress. He left no note of clue to why he decided to take his own life. My guess, it is difficult to discuss what it is to be a man in this day and age. A mental health student nurse on his last journey to contribute to the society. A healthy man who loved to keep fit at the gym. A father who supported Arsenal with all his heart. A family man who adores his own kids. This is what has happened. A 44-year-old man took his life yesterday in Sheffield there. So all you got to do is go to www.gofundme and search for Nelson Ndlovu. His friends and family are just, seeking if anyone can help, because they would like to repatriate his remains to Zimbabwe, where he can be buried with his ancestors there. So that's said, so for those that can help, GoFundMe, and his name is Nelson Ndlovu. Right, let's get on with the show here. May I welcome Sekuru to the show. Welcome Sekuru to the show. Yes, yakasiyana Sekuru. I know tinofara chose kuwane pano pachirongwa nhasi Sekuru. Right, Mkoma Teach, welcome to the show. How is London today?
I'm actually in Bournemouth.
Bournemouth, yes, you're catching us from Bournemouth. How is Bournemouth?
Bournemouth is good, sir. How are you?
No, I'm not doing too badly. Oh, summer is here, so my spirits are very, very high.
Greetings to my darling Sally, Sekuru, Mkoma Wilbert,
And
everyone on the panel.
Aha.
How are you, darling?
I am very well, my sweetheart, and you.
Yeah. Thank you
my
so
voice
much.
is coming back now.
Thank heavens, because it's so sexy.
Oh dear. Right. Okay. Thank you so much. Mukoma Wilbert Magani Kozveyu ku Manchester.
Adripo, hello everybody. Welcome to the show, and good evening to everybody who might be listening wherever you are around the world.
Yeah, no, I must say it was very good to see you here yesterday, Mukoma Wilbert. You know, we do this show and we talk and we never meet and have a proper chat. It was nice to see you, actually.
It was nice to see the face behind the name, the voice.
Thank you so much. Tete Rosi kwa America uko, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? How's everybody doing?
Yeah, no, me, I'm fine. It looks like everyone is healthy and Koma Teach is getting better. Right.
I did not teach was sick. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope he's well.
Yeah, he's alright. Yeah, he was just suffering from the chicken disease, but he's okay now. Mkoma Benford, welcome to the show. How is America today?
Kuno ku right DJ Sodza makadikwe.
Aiwa, tinofara chose totochikira kwenyu.
Kuno na vatambu zvinhu zvese zvitsvene.
Aiwa, tinofara chose. Right. Sally in South Africa, welcome to the show.
Thank you, DJ Sodza. Good evening, everybody on the panel. And my darling Titch, I've already said good evening to you. And my Sekuru, I'm sorry I went looking for you so late. But I'm old and I forgot. And good evening, Zimbabweans, wherever you are. I hope you're having a fantastic evening. And I'd like to welcome Tete Rasta to our show.
Alright. Okay. I was going to introduce Tete Rasta at the moment, but I was just going to say, guys, you have to be lenient we've got a new kid on the horizon here today. Tete Rasta is joining us today, and hopefully she will be coming week after week after week after week to also participate on this platform. Tete Rasta, let me welcome you to the show.
Lovely. Thank you so much. It's good to be here. Welcome, comrades. Nice to be amongst you. And thank you for having me on the show. Shout out to all your audience.
Thank you so much. And where are you catching us from?
Today I'm in a hotel in Coventry, but I live in Luton, Harare, North Yeku, England.
Yes, that's where lots of Zimbabweans are. I'm told Luton and Slough are the most where most Zimbabweans live.
Yeah, the real Zimbabweans live in Luton, and other aspiring people live in Slough or Leicester and all the other towns that I mentioned. But Luton in Dio Mbare chayo London.
Thank you so much. Right, guys.
Muzukuru Rasta ukaya chitenda udaroga tichakubata bata.
Ndinomhanya zvekumhanya ziya, game on.
Okay.
Right. Sekuru, there's two topics that we want to talk about tonight. So I would like to do maybe first hour we do the first one, then second hour we conclude. So I think really, to be fair, I want to talk about, we all have had what has happened today, that UK is giving $100 million loan to Zimbabwe. You know, this is after refusing to give anything to Zimbabwe for nearly 20 years. And one might be wondering, with the elections coming in a month or so, why now? Why have they decided to give such money now? Is this a sign yet that they are indeed endorsing Emerson Mnangagwa, and they are happy with what he is doing at the moment, and they are actually thinking he is going to win these coming elections. Someone sent this question to us, so we have to discuss it. But before I do that, because this has happened today, I would like to go back a little bit, because people are saying that let's reflect on how the hard talk went. Because if you remember last Thursday, we were told by our people that the hard talk took place on Thursday, and the podcast was going to be shown probably Friday morning and all that. So we didn't have a chance to listen to it before we discuss anything here on show. So I know everyone has listened to it, you've seen it. I don't know, reflect on it. Sekuru, what was your reflect on it? What did you get from that hard talk that Nelson Chamisa did with BBC?
Akasagarara magirasi. Akanga ari permanent ombre. Tuneza ndicho kuti whereas inini I am very frank in my analysis of what happened, and all I could see was a person who had been thrown into the deep end without adequate preparation, or with some kind of preparation, but being vexed by an experienced and a hostile interviewer, as the name of the program states, hard talk. And they didn't know how to handle the hardness of the talking. He was trying his best to try and deflect it, and to try and put some facts into it, but the evidence he was confronted with was so overwhelming, it was difficult to spin at the spur of the moment. It needed a planned approach. Because we all know that Chamisa, when he was saying all these things, this was electioneering. And unfortunately, if you electioneer like that in this country, it will come back to hound you at every other occasion that you are required to electioneer. Now, the problem is you can say that whatever you are saying in Zimbabwe and people will clap hands, or at a Bedford at the rally and people can clap hands. In hard talk, you cannot say what you are saying and get away with it. So I don't know whether it was a bit too early for him to be thrown into that deep end, or whether it was a question of him not having been properly handled by his handlers here and in Zimbabwe, or whether it is the inadequacy in the party that we cannot destroy a person like Suka at a presidential level. If we can't destroy Suka at that level, then how are we going to fare against, say, Xi or say Trump? That is where the problem is. Because at the end of the day, there were some very positive things that Chamisa wanted to say, but he couldn't just get through, because he was not allowed to get through because of the volume of the facts that were confronting him and the accusations of nonsense and silly from the reporter. What he should have said was to tell the interviewer to say, look, if we are going to go through this interview, we then stop calling each other silly or nonsense, and then we start from there. If you are going to use that kind of words, I can also equally put you in your place, in your rightful place, so that they would be at par. But he didn't. He wanted to be philosophical about it. He had to be hard, and he was not hard.
All right. Okay, Sekuru, it's very interesting. Thank you so much for that. So, from your point of view, out of 10, how did you do?
a 5 will suffice.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Sekuru, for that. Hey, welcome to the show. I'm going to run a little bit late there.
Yeah, sorry, DJ Sodza.
Okay,
thank you very much. Magadi Muri Zimbabwe Magatere and my panelists, yes, sir.
Are you
really say?
Aiwa kuno kuziloka ziri nani Sekuru. Atiterera zvimuchi kuruma.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
I'm sure you had the chance to listen to what Chamisa had to say on the Hard Talk. Reflection on that, how did he do?
Yes, I listened to it. In fact, I listened to it twice because I was invited to News of the South to make a commentary on it.
Yes.
Yes, I'm rather in agreement with Sekuru. He appeared to be out of his depth in terms of the stature of a president responding to difficult journalism. It made me miss RGM Gushungo. Because it doesn't matter which political party one belongs to, when people are at a center stage like that, they are representing Zimbabweans. So I felt that he allowed soccer to do with him what he wanted to. I would have thought he would direct the conversation to what presidential goodies is he offering the electorate. Instead, he had his wardrobe opened and all the dirty linen pulled out. And he could have put a stop to it because Hard Talk is really tough, but also the interviewees are there to stand their ground. I think it was a missed opportunity by a man who's so fearsome in his rallies. He could have given it a bit more oomph.
Right. Probably fire back at Suka.
Not so much to fight back at Suka. Suka came up with a very, very, very interesting approach. From the very, very beginning of the interview, he just asserted that what did he say? I wrote it down somewhere. He said, you are a young man in a great hurry. So when we look at psychology and you look at communication styles, that's like in transactional analysis, adult to child. He was putting him in his place. And then he went on to highlight how he hadn't grieved Morgan Tsvangirai when he died. So again, he was stripping him of his prowess. So you couldn't even respect the fact that your old man had died and you started positioning yourself. Oh, and then you lied that you met Trump. So already he was on a back foot. And if Soka had invited him to say, I'm going to do that to you, I don't think he would have accepted.
Right. Okay. So, for the benefit of moving on, Tete, let me also ask you the same question. And Sekuru, out of 10, what would you give? And bearing in mind that not many people go to this Hard Talk and come victorious, and that it is Hard Talk as the name suggests, and that this was his first really major interview, because in Zimbabwe he's never been interviewed there because he's not allowed on ZBC, is he?
Yes, but there are other people who are important who've come to the UK and gone back without accepting to go on Hard Talk. So he had a choice. He solicited the interview. He went there and he got it. So he has to take responsibility. I don't think that did very much for his finale in the UK. So I give him a very reserved 5.5 based on the Hard Talk alone.
Okay, Aiwa, thank you so much for that. Now, Mukoma Teach, you had what Chamisa had to say. What did you make of it in reflection of it? Mukoma Teach, are you there? Right, okay. Let's move on. Tende pana Mukoma Wilbert. Mukoma Wilbert.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, I'm sure you listened to it. myself, I did twice actually, trying to just get to the bottom of it. What did you make of it in reflection?
Well, I listened to it. Actually, I listened to it twice as well. I think it highlights the problem we have in Zimbabwe, that we've got a media that is the public media anyway is so pro ZANU-PF and anti-opposition to the point where there is no meaningful media as such. The small independent media that is there has been so pro-opposition to the point of being so supportive that they are not giving these opposition MPs or leaders really the real questioning that they should be subjected to. If you look at what the BBC presenter said to Chamisa, I think he made a very valid point. He said it's most unfortunate that maybe the opposition are not taking it seriously. The truth of the matter is definitely Chamisa damaged himself by seizing power the way he did. He did not help MDC move away from all this fracturing and rivalry and so forth. By seizing power the way he did not unite MDC. He divided it even further. And I think history will show that the division between MDC now as a result of that, what Chamisa did, will never heal. And I think if you remember, DJ, I think I did mention it on this side as well, that it doesn't matter what you do now. You can never put the two MDC, Toko, Chamisa together again. You can't. You're broken. It's like a clay pot. You've broken it, and it will never be the same again. So that is a problem. And I think in this particular case, he learned something from it. And also, I think in terms of our own politics, that we learned something from it. And I think honestly that the opposition really needs to pull up their socks. The opposition have not been performing well, and if they go into these elections with this kind of leadership, with this kind of poor quality, there is no way they are going to compete with the kind of sophistication that we've seen in ZANU-PF. I think he had so other materials to work from, which is the other thing I'm disappointed. I personally was disappointed about, and Saka tried to highlight that. Why are you dwelling on issues like the bullet train when you've got Nenkiri Mnangagwa's track record of the murders that he committed, the gross mismanagement of the economy that he could have been hammering on, and yet he chooses issues that are so he can't even defend them when he's put on the spot. That is what the problem is, and I hope with our friend Peve there, and if MDC leaders are listening, they will really sit down and start looking at, if you're going to improve quality of the opposition, you really need to start looking at quality leadership.
Okay. Thank you so much. Out of 10, what would you give Chamisa Mkoma after listening to that?
I think it's a total failure. I think given a 2 is being generous.
The 2 is being very generous. All right. Thank you so much. Let me hear from Mkoma Benford. Mkoma Benford, what did you make of this Hardtalk thing?
Thanks, DJ Sodza. I think Hardtalk is always hard. The mistake was going on Hardtalk. I think that was the biggest mistake that they made. But at times they ill-advise their leaders. Chamisa should have gone on Hardtalk after winning the election in July, not now, because it's going to open, as it has happened, it has opened lots of worms, from their can. So I think that was the biggest mistake that they did. And it was not Chamisa's problem. The problem is MDC as a party. They don't have a clear vision. The international community is struggling to understand where these guys stand and what is their vision, what are they going to offer. And that is why you find that most international organization communities, they are leaning towards ED, because ED, he is making his vision clear. He's going to open up the country for investors to come. He's going to re-engage the international community. Now, with Chamisa and MDC, it's difficult to get where they are. This day, they are saying they are going to chase the Chinese. The next day, they are saying, no, the Chinese are welcome. And it's difficult. So, it's how they are packaging their message that is a problem. And it was not Chamisa. I think Chamisa, for those of people who have been following Hardtalk for a long time, I think he did well. As an individual, I think he did really well. I would give him an 8 out of 10, for his performance on Hardtalk. That is why strong people like Wanao Basanjo, the Pakistan president, actually threatened, the Hardtalk presenter. He told him that, he reminded him that he's the president of a country because it's hard. So, on that note, I think Chamisa did well as an individual, but as a party, they exposed themselves because, like I said before, they don't have a clear-cut vision, which is why most of us, I said it last week, that when Chamisa gave his talk to the Zimbabwean diaspora community, it was difficult to kind of get his, his core message and where they want to take the nation into. That is where they need to work on. If they are listening, instead of Chamisa doing all the rallies right at the moment, you guys need to take 2 weeks from those rallies to focus on your vision. Package it in such a way that is easy to understand so that people can follow you. Otherwise, you have problems with the international community and everybody.
Okay, thank you so much. So you give him an 8 out of 10. You think he did well there individually?
He did really well. That's my view. He did really well. Hardtalk is hard as it says, and he did really well.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. Teta Rosiko America, welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you?
Yes, I know that you've got your own perspective of things. You did manage to listen to the Hardtalk, did you?
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah, you watched it, and what did you make of it? What did you make of it?
I probably gonna surprise people. I thought he stayed calm,
right,
which was very important. Under the line of questioning and everything, he managed to stay calm. And there's a lot of people who've gone on that show and failed to stay calm. I would have lost my mind. So for staying calm already, he earned points for me in terms of staying calm. He managed to keep his cool. The thing that was problematic for me, which will be problematic for MDC for a very long time, because Zimbabwean politics and international politics are very different. In the international community and international politics, things like how you get into power matter. The reason why they've kind of ignored how, Mnangagwa came into power is because Mugabe got to a point where people just wanted Mugabe gone so badly that they were willing to be okay with what happened and accept it and actually push for it because they felt this was the only way. MDC as a party, this is where I agree with Benford for the first time in my life. Because I never agree with Benford. Okay? MDC does not understand who they are as a party. MDC is not ZANU-PF. Things that are acceptable, and this is unfair. It's unfair, but it's how it is. Things that are acceptable to ZANU-PF will never be acceptable in MDC to the international community, because MDC is supposed to be the alternative of ZANU-PF. So the way Chamisa got into power will always be problematic. So that will be the first judgment and perspective people have. And what MDC does not understand that happened, which they gave ZANU-PF manna on a platter. The way MDC went about Chamisa getting power made it okay for the international community to now say, you know what is the difference really between ZANU-PF and MDC? So we might as well just support ZANU-PF because they're in power, they have the power and they have the military and they have all these things. So in terms of Zimbabwe, people are tired of Zimbabwe and the issues that have been going on in Zimbabwe for years. That most people, the way things happen in MDC opens up a way in which people justify to go, you know what, Zimbabwe is, let's just give up on trying to really democratize this country. Let's really focus on economics. And if we can get a Zimbabwe that's like Rwanda, then we're okay. Because what really is MDC offering us anyway? They're not even democratic anymore. And I know a lot of people say, hey, Chamisa, but people need to understand this is what we were saying from the beginning. MDC is not ZANU-PF. MDC is supposed to be the complete opposite of ZANU-PF. But now when you can't even really have a clear understanding of democracy as you have to needs, in order you have all these things happening, institutional collapse of MDC. Things are happening, leaders, and then, the leader of the party himself. It seems like if you're going to take power, I always say, this is my problem with the leaders in Zimbabwe, with Mnangagwa, with Chamisa. You come in, you grab power. Please have a plan. You don't even have a plan. This man is speaking off the cuff, electioneering, not electioneering. He's speaking off the cuff. He's making blunders after blunder. Akabaku Hardtalk, Trump. And he lied about it. He lied that it wasn't me who said it. And then people are playing on the loop tape of him actually saying, Trump. And then you get to Harare International Airport. And you get off the plane. And the first thing you say, Kulan, is, Tabaku, UK, does that even make sense? You were just on Hardtalk. I mean, it's either, this is my theory, it's either Chamisa is just not that bright, or he's doing it on purpose to sabotage himself and the MDC. But people need to, if you're going to support him, Chamisa does not, if you're supporting him and he's being genuine in what he's doing, Chamisa doesn't need bootlickers who are saying, oh, everything is good, Chichi. Chamisa needs real advisors for a change. People who are going to sit him down and say, okay, let's have a plan, let's have a vision, let's show that we're different from ZANU-PF and this is how we're different. We need to be able to show a clear difference. Because right now, MDC is not getting money from the international donor community, which used to support MDC. And then in addition, MDC needs to start focusing. Right now there's so much issues on primaries. We're 2 months to the election. But there was the thing, this meeting, my ballot printing, my ballot printing, which to me, I was like, even in Russia, they never did that. They just stuffed ballots. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And I hear these opposition people saying that. The rigging begins and starts with the voter roll.
Okay.
At some point, people are going to need to be serious about that and start doing knowing it's my election. For us to actually believe that Chamisa wants to win an election. Because right now, as it stands, my programs are which are important. There's no voter, the voter roll was opened up for people to go and see their names on the voter roll. The party is not, this is the time when the party should have been mobilizing its voters to go check the voter roll. especially when you hear Zek saying, there's already 11,000 people who registered but are not going to be on the roll. Quantity, multiply that number by I don't know how many, because that's how ZANU-PF operates.
Okay.
MDC should be protecting the votes right now.
All right.
All the rigging begins and start with the voter roll. Not quite putting nyapera kwa muri kuchita nezvekuti maballot printers yekuti Zimbabweans don't takadzidza chiiti chinyapera wazvinhu zviri so simple. Instead of actually focusing on what's important.
All right, Sete. Thank you.
Hapana kudzidza, hatina kudzidza, tiri fools. We're just fools.
All right. Okay. Let me just stop you there. Thank you so much. I don't know, Kuti, out of 10, what would you give Chamisa on what what he did on the show?
For me, okay, because he was calmer, he already earned 5 points. In terms of substantive information, facts, he got a 1.5. Because there was nothing substantive that he gave me. There were no facts that he actually gave me. The only fact that he said to me that I understood was Mnangagwa is the new face of the old order. That was the only thing that he said to me that I said, okay, yes, that's true. But in terms of facts about things about himself, he pretty much fumbled through and kind of deflected and lied again. Lied, Kuti. And I didn't take over power in 2 days. It was 2 weeks later. No, we all know, Kuti, before Morgan even body was called, you were already announcing having a press conference with you were president. Yes. And then 2 weeks later, you're having this meeting in Mawani.
All right. Okay.
So we were following what happened.
All right, Sete. For the sake of moving on, thank you so much for that. Regaindi Dizoti, Mukoma Tichi, are you still there? Murmakutin's better. Right. Sally? Sally, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes. Sally, you saw the interview yourself, and what did you make of it? Any feedback?
I loved the way it started out. The old, what's his name? Sakru or whatever his name is. Sakru.
Yeah.
The first question, I burst out laughing. I thought, hey, you've been reading my mind. Okay, I mean, I just loved it. The guy is immature. He has no idea of being a president, Chamisa, none whatsoever. He is so wrapped up in himself, that's why he was calm, because he really thought he was going to take old Sakura, whatever his sugar or whatever his name is, he was going to take him and wipe the tiles clean with him, because he knows everything. That's why he was calm. Mm-hmm. He came out looking like a naughty old that was caught lying about who peed in the flowers. Okay. I mean, it was ridiculous. And then when old Sugar Baby, what is the dude's name?
Yeah, Steven Suka.
Suka.
Yeah, just call it that.
It's got a U. Yeah, okay. When he turned around and he said to Chamisa, but you've got a massive division in your party. And Chamisa, without hesitation, he didn't even think about it, turned around and said, no ways, there's no division in our party. I thought, oh my Lord, help me. We have got Donald Trump representing Zimbabwe. If you know the degree of the 3 Bs, I can't say what it means over air because then everybody will create havoc. But seriously, you haven't got a division in your party? The party's exploding. And you sit there and you think that people are stupid enough, Zimbabweans are stupid enough to say, yeah, no, there's no division in MDC because Chamisa said so. Please, people. Please. And then somebody sent me a video saying, Chamisa destroys Steve, old Zakanaka, okay? I thought, huh? I don't know, maybe I'm living in a parallel universe. Maybe I've got, I don't know. But I don't see where he destroyed old Steve Zakanaka. I saw Steve destroy him and make him look like a child
Sally, hang on a minute, guys. Let's be realistic here. Let me just read what someone is writing to me here. Are you guys saying that Steve Saka was telling the truth there when he says that that the Chinese are benefiting Zimbabweans by providing clean water, building roads and airports? Is there any clean water in Zimbabwe? Was he telling the truth there?
Well, the Chinese are supposed to be, but the problem is between the Chinese money getting to where it's supposed to be and how deep the ZANU-PF pockets are. Okay, so yes, the Chinese, you can say the Chinese were providing clean water, but they're not. But what did Chamisa answer to that?
All right. No, I thought I would throw that into that because, you know, Steve guy, he also says that the ballot has already been printed there, you know, and it looks like the UK embassy in Harare have distanced themselves from that. They say that we have got no such information there. So, I mean, this guy, he wasn't being truthful as well, was he?
Yeah, look, I'm not saying, oh, Zakanaka there was Zakanaka and brilliant and everything, no. But it shows that even though this man, to me, Zakanaka on some things was very ill-informed. But Chamisa never stood up to it.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? So, a man that's not very well informed destroyed a person that's supposed to be representing us in Zimbabwe. That's from Zimbabwe. I mean, when he turned around and talked about the bullet train, and he said, look, the bullet train goes at 800 kilometers a minute or an hour, okay? And it's only 400 kilometers from Harare to Bulawayo. I just packed up laughing. I thought, oh Lord, no. This is highly embarrassing. Seriously. But I'm sorry, the man is not presidential material.
Yeah.
He's fantastic at standing up and making a show. He should be an entertainer. Okay? Well, he's a preacher. He knows how to play with people's minds to get them where he wants them. Okay? So he knows that. And that's exactly what he's done.
All right. Right, Sally, out of 10, what would you give him?
-10.
-10. Okay, thank you so much for that. Let me read a few messages coming here. Tete Albimata Germany, thank you so much for listening and also for contributing. Kwanzi, sorry, I joined a little bit late, so I hope I'm not repeating anything that someone had already said. I think the fact is that with any kind of hard conversation, if you are clean, no one can catch you out. If Chamisa had integrity, he would not have exposed himself in any question that would have brought him shame. Chamisa chinja maitiro kuti tese tikut. I don't know tikuchke or something. I don't know. But anyway, we got the message. This one is saying that musakanganwe kuti povo ichavota is people who are suffering on the ground. Kwete Isusu in diaspora. He is the strongest option and popular. Let's not just hate Munu at the moment. Povo loves Nelson Chamisa and he can do all those things. ED Jari Kufamba Akapek. Oh, he can do all those things. ED Jari Kufamba Akapeka Chiskaf Nekurukupisa Achiti Anoita. So hate him or like him, the man is loved. 38 years suffering. We do not need to compare Munu Acha Kompita na Chamisa, because people want ZANU out. Period. Then Chamisa akatadzao anongoendao. Period. Aha. Right. Anything else to read there? This one. The Chinese provided funding to repair Jeffrey Morton waterworks. So there, what the Chinese have done. The Chinese provided funding to repair Jeffrey Morton waterworks. Thank you so much for that. Any other message to read there? I wonder. Any other message? No. Let's move on. My number is 0798 4455349. Get in touch. Send me a WhatsApp message and I shall read it. Makami now Chamisa, when he visited, and you went to BBC studios now, and you were just sitting maybe 2 meters, 3 meters away out of the camera there. Muchinzwa, how he performed on there. Now, hearing what people are saying, what did you make of it anyway for yourself who was there? And hearing from what people are saying, can you understand where people are coming from?
No, I'm not surprised. Actually, I've been following the debate on social media. It was buzzing with a lot of theories and hypotheses of what should have been done and what went wrong and what could have been the best form of answering. But of course, having been part and parcel of the whole team, I didn't draw myself into the debate. So this will be my first time to comment. Thank you very much, DJ Sodza, for giving me this opportunity. But I want to dispel two notions. One, that it was too early for President Chamisa to go on Hardtalk. And then secondly, that he was short of substance during the interview. Now, firstly, I'll deal with the first one, that it was too early. Look, as MDC, we have always been very clear on the electoral reform. And part of the electoral reform that we've been demanding is the access to media. Now, if people are going to tell me that it's okay to go to ZBC and face Ruben Barwe, but not okay to go to BBC, it was too early to go to BBC, I find it totally absurd. Look, media is what it is. They've got their own interests. And we as a political party, as a democratic party, of course as an MDC, we've got our own interests. Now, this is hard talk. People need to understand this. It's one of a program with editorial independence, robust. Actually, let me also just shed some light, which may not be privy to a lot of you. Chamisa knew of the Hardtalk when he was still in Zimbabwe. So the presidential team was well aware of it. I did communicate to say there have been a request for Hardtalk. So again, the team in Zimbabwe sat down, evaluated, of course, with symbols on how they present their questioning. So we knew on that. But also, let me also say that because there have been some notions or people saying that he just was ushered into Hardtalk when he came here. That is far away from it. We knew about it, and let me also say that the questions that were answered in Hardtalk, 99% of those questions, we actually discussed them and evaluated them, and we knew that they were coming. The manner that they were being asked, the manner that they were going to be asked, that was, of course, left to to Stephen Saka. But in terms that those issues would come in the Hardtalk interview, that we knew, 99% of the questions. And then whilst also on there, let me also comment in terms of people are saying that he was short of substance. Look, for those people who have watched other episodes of Hardtalk before, I can assure you, if you are genuine, you agree with me that Chamisa did extremely well. Even if you are to compare with even Robert Mugabe, I know somebody said, you know, I miss Robert Mugabe. Robert Mugabe was found totally decapitated by Christina Amanpour, if you remember CNN.
I saw that.
Those who actually followed the CNN with Amanpour, right? Which is actually, it's a similar program, but not as robust as Hardtalk. And mind you, Hardtalk, what normally happens is they actually they will send you an email of a warning. It's not that we didn't know. They will say that, well, we just want to make it clear that Hardtalk is a robust interview based on facts and factual research. Because if you look at Stephen Saka, yes, he's the person who eventually will do the questioning, but they will be totally an independent department of researchers that would have researched and then give to Saka to frame the questions. So those questions, luckily, let me say that luckily, because Chamisa only took over in February this year, so there wasn't much that the BBC had at their disposal about the past in terms of leadership, Chamisa's leadership of MDC. So the questioning started from sort of after he assumed the interim presidency. So this is why it was possible to actually envisage the 99% of the issues that were likely to come in Hardtalk. If he has been a presidential candidate, let's say for the past 15 years, they would even have researched and asked the questions dating back to 15 years back. So given that scenario, what I've realized, having actually followed the debate, is that people who support ZANU-PF and other people who actually support other political parties other than MDC are trying to find where there is virtually no force at all. And you find that these are the same people, even if Chamisa is to dance on water, they will still blame Chamisa for raising dust. This is purely based on malice. If you ask me what mark would I give Chamisa out of 10, I would say 9.5%. 9.5 out of 10, which is 95%.
Okay. It's very intriguing and it's a great insight. What intrigued me personally is that you're telling me that Chamisa knew that this kind of most of these questions were coming. Right?
We knew, yes.
You knew, and you knew how to answer them.
I think you have to be very careful there. I mean, this is Hardtalk. This is why I made it very clear that we knew that these issues would come in the interview, in the questioning. Yes,
right.
But the manner that they will be questioned is not something that you would envisage.
Yeah, of course, yes.
In terms of the answers, yes, of course. If these issues come, these are the likelihood of the answers.
Wow.
But again,
can I answer there one question?
You said you are ZANU-PF associated, you are Muitamalais. But in Pana Papa program, the most ardent ZANU-PF supporter, Benford Msukurongo, gave him the highest score.
Yeah, if you look, if you remember well, I said vamwe vezanu nevamwe who support other political parties. Or
Can I ask what other political party I support, Pepe?
No.
No, I want to know
It's not
because
a
I didn't. Because you're saying that anyone who's questioning, who's asking questions, I'm asking because you know very well who I've supported.
Rosie.
So I just want to know, Kuti, in any what promise do I have?
No, I think you're missing a point. You're missing a point. I didn't pinpoint a specific name. I said I have been following the debate.
Yeah, but you've generalized.
Right? I've been following the debate in the social media, including, of course, including people on the panel. They've got their own preference.
Which party do I support?
Sorry?
Which party do I support?
No, I don't know which party you support, but you've got your preference.
Who was I supporting?
So it's not for me.
I supported?
Okay.
Have I put my? Because I can put my money where my mouth is.
It's your democratic right, isn't it?
Yes.
It's your democratic right. So what's the problem there?
I want to understand who I'm supporting because you know very well it was MDC. It's been MDC. We and concerned citizens supported MDC when no one else was supporting.
Rosie, this discussion has not been. You have not been the best.
No, Pepe, you should have said some people are from ZANU-PF. Some people support other political parties. And then we have, because we're a democratic party called MDC, we have people in MDC who have a difference of opinion.
Okay.
No. Look,
that's what you should have said. That would have been the correct thing to say. That would have been the right thing to say.
All right, Rosie.
Where's in my mouth? Where's in my mouth?
No.
Yes.
Okay, right, guys. Okay, guys, the problem. I'm sorry. Yes, you see, when it becomes like that, it becomes too heated, guys. We cannot progress. But what I want to do is, thank you so much for the analysis that you give. Now, my phone here is almost red hot with people sending messages. Red hot, I can tell you that. Right. Maybe, of course, let me share with you some of the things coming through. Okay. That is clear. Why is Teteros feeling victimized? This is one of the listeners sending me a message. This one is saying that DJ, forget about that Steve Sucker. He was just biased. This one is saying that Sodza, it's intriguing that they could admit that they knew the questions. It shows you're not in your depth. That is Mukomarundi Yororo America. Then this one is saying that Chamisa did extremely well considering his stature. It's a hard talk environment to go. Kudos to him for doing it. General Moyo pinpoint declined it when he came to the UK. Emerson Mnangagwa was offered in Davos and he declined it. You know, that is how leaders mature. Learn from their shortfalls. It was a good job that he went on to there. Others are refusing to go there. Is there anything to read there? Right. Keep them coming and we'll share. It's 4 minutes after 11. I think we just going to then I need to move on because we've got so many things to talk about. America, how is America this afternoon there, should I say? You're enjoying yourself there.
Enjoy.
tinofara chose. Musati madaro Tete Gaiton, pane imwe message yapinda panapa. I just have to read it. I had given Nelson Chamisa a 6, but after what Vapfeve is just reviewed, it's a definite 0 for me, DJ. Canada. Thank you so much for that. Teto Mashoko, please go ahead. What did you make of the Hardtalk interview?
In Uncle 6-7. You know what? Was it cringe-worthy? Yes, it was. Almost torturing. But this is exactly what people have been talking about. Ndoma results a dictatorship at Trukuan. Vana vedu not being prepared enough to go pama platforms international panodiwa intelligence and preparation inoenderana ne world class. Nekuti, you know what, if vana babongo changirai ivo vana mugaba, then vakanzwisisa the importance of mentorship, of grooming vana vadiki and preparing them kuti kana vaenda pama world stages avanosvika voneba stage fright, they're ill prepared and God knows what else. Not necessarily that he didn't have zvaida kutaura. It's a matter of articulating, and it's a matter of putting and formulating my sentences are coherent in a moment's notice. You know what? People have a short memory, especially when we go to England. 15-16 years ago, per Channel 4, one of the first ministers, black ministers, I think he was either Ghanaian or Nigerian, archive pupira furo vanitese takatarisa kudai tikanyara. But do you know what they said? No, they're going to prepare him. They're going to coach him. They will use the rest of as a learning curve. Typical Zimbabweans or Africans, then we are saying Gati Chimujigai, Neguti, he has ill-performed, or Anyadzra. I'm telling you, there is nobody who is beating himself more than E. I can guarantee you that. Mono ari Gati Dzidze, Iar Kudzidze, Susungati Dzidze. Zvedu izvozvo kuti iye zvino unoona vanhu vachiregerera vana what's his name Shamu or whatever vachiba maballot papers vanhu vachingoita zvinhu zvisingazikanwi, and then iyo opposition, I'm sorry, I'm going to offend a lot of people here, not really putting their foot down and saying, you know what, this is what we want or else we are not going back. Hatisi kuita ma-elections nekuti then tikuramba tichiwana vana we're short-charging vana. It's not fair what is happening. Rather than throwing stones at Chamisa, everybody should really be hanging their head in shame. Because that complacency and nyaya kuda kujairira kuti we eat our own, rather than kuti iye zvinototi paita shortfall tanyara ndizvozvo, but we dust ourselves up, we stand up, we prepare and we go on. The very fact yekuti iye zvino this has even polarized the people even further nenyaya kupe na Chamisa, it again goes back to my preparations ne zvinhu zvaifwa kunge zvakaitwa long back. We are selfish. Akuna mama leaders are selfish, evil, panika African leaders. Absolutely. Zvese zvokuramba zvedu tichinge mwana wovanhu achanozvisungirira because we are making fun tirikunangira. It should stop. You should turn around kuna vanhu vakaita sana Munangagwa who want to hold on to power. That child is doing his best, and whether ndiye achaenda mberi or ndikupe achaenda mberi, it's neither here nor there. Vachagadzirisana, that I'm sure of. A winner is going to come out. But the mere fact that we don't look at the problem where it is coming from, the very people vanoramba vachiti no ZANU-PF iri right, ZANU-PF, and whether is splinter yet 10 ZANU-PF or 10 splinters, ndimi vanhu mauraya nyika. And then vana vobuda voti chirega tiite zvatiri kukwanisa. You don't even have simba rekuva mentor. You don't have simba rekuva prepare. You don't have ma resources ndekuendesa kunorova vanhu. But not kuti vanhu vagare pa internet voita research, prepare munhu. No, you should be ashamed, all of you. Sorry.
I know. Thank you so much. It's clear that you are in support. Right, maybe last message before we go into the next chapter of the show. I'll be German Kwanzi Pepe is not clear. He is part of the Chamisa praise and worship team. He needs to recognize, as Tete Rosie articulated, that there are some MDC supporters who are not happy with Chamisa's conduct and abilities. That's one of the message coming through. Now, Zimbabwe, these kind of topics can bring emotion sometimes, and people are emotional about it. That shows people should care about Zimbabwe. They care about their country. They care about what's happening in Zimbabwe. You might be sitting pretty in diaspora, driving nice cars, having nice houses, doing whatever you do, but haven't you got conscience of the people that are suffering back home? How much money are you sending home for people to survive? If those people, there's a saying, don't just give people fish, just go and teach them how to fish so that they can look after themselves. You know, if these people could look after themselves in Zimbabwe, we won't have to send people money to Zimbabwe. And you want to see people enjoy life. Life is too short. Death comes so quick. Nyat ku America, it was not a matter of Chamisa doing badly at the interview. It was what he had said before that came out to haunt him. He should not have lied before or told fantasy stories at rallies. Right? I'm sure we are jotting things down.
Yes, I am.
Right, thank you so much. Right. I'll be back after 3 minutes. Tofambira mberi nechirongwa takakunzwa kuti hurumende ye Britain yati iyo yakuda kupa $100 million to Zimbabwean companies kuti vagadzirise upenyu hwavo mutse mabusiness kuZimbabwe. And we are told that this is the first time in almost 20 years that the UK government is pledging such a lump sum kuti wabatsire Zimbabwe as a loan. How is Zimbabwe going to pay this money back? God knows. Is it a sign yet that the UK government are thinking Mnangagwa is really the real deal? He is the breath of fresh air that Zimbabwe have been waiting for. I'm sure they think so. Otherwise they wouldn't be in such
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. You are listening to DJ Sodza live on Zimnet Make the whole world know about your business. Advertise with Zimnet Radio. Email marketing@zimnetradio.com.
Samunenge matora Badara Zamnotenga Nenzira Zakanaka Moto Tere Zenozote Samunenge matora Tisare Tinotora Zeno Zemazedo Zotera Zenozote Zotura Komorenge Taura Ezenetika Kuru Jengerano Kote Mazezete Zakana Nansangano Tisa Ete Cheopomwe Mondo Echemrenga Tesa Nese Vasungwa Vatinenge Tabata Tisa Ete Cheopomwe Mondo Echemrenga Tesa Nese Vasungwa Vatinenge Tabata Tisa Ete Cheopomwe.
Sisney, my time is 16 minutes gone after the hour of 11. Welcome to each and every one of you. Sanda Ndakure, it might not be fair not to read this one. Kwanziko Namkanya Kulester. Thank you so much, Wapepe. We are well behind you, well articulated. Thank you so much. Now, we want to move on, guys. I have been told that UK government is going to give in the excess of $100 million to Zimbabwe. Apparently, they are happy because even on that Hardtalk, when I was listening to this Stephen Saka guy, you know, he came out and he literally said that the best thing that could have happened to Zimbabwe is ED. And the number one, he's doing the best he can. He has set up a fund here, Gukura Wundi to you know, kuti vanhu vaite patsawene kunyunyutka kwegukura Wundi, and you know, he's going to hold free and fair elections. He has said that anyone can come and observe. He's done that. He's done that. You know, it was like an advocate. Kuti, you know, ED is the real deal. And a week down the line, it took Maria in the Zimbabwe. What did you make of this? The timing of it. These are the guys that have never given Zimbabwe anything since year 2000, when they said, Mugabe, we are putting sanctions on because you have kicked our, you know, Farmers Act. We are putting sanctions out, and now what has changed in Zimbabwe for them to preach such money? Is it a good thing for us that they are preaching such money so that it can help people back home? You know, I don't know. Maybe you guys might have something to say. So, to be fair, let's go back. Kuna Sekuru Patatangira. Semunu Mukuru Kudai Sekuru. I'm not sure you're the oldest there, Sekuru, but we respect you as an elder.
I may not be the oldest, but I'm definitely old.
Alright, okay, so that's fine. What did you make of this announcement that they're going to give $100 million to Zimbabwe?
Well, it's in line with what Zimbabwe has been crying for, isn't it?
Yes.
We want foreign direct investment, and we want grants and opportunities to develop our country. We were worried that ZANU-PF was blocking all grants by saying we don't want international aid here. You keep your aid there and we keep our country here. But now we have a situation where the people have changed their minds and they are looking after their own interests. For instance, Britain after Brexit is not going to be Britain in the EU, so they might be developing their own markets elsewhere. And what a good way of starting that than by creating a friendly relationships with the former Commonwealth countries that have always supplied the UK with a lot of its rare raw materials. So, as far as I'm concerned, we can argue about that until kingdom come. The point is, are we working for Zimbabweans or are we working for ourselves? If we are working for ourselves, then we may say, no, but why give it to Mnangagwa? Because we now personalizing it. If we are working for Zimbabwe, we say, yeah, that's good. That is what should happen. We should get all the investment that we can get from the world. And if Britain leads the way in investing in our country and other countries follow suit, then all good. But now, the problem is with the ZANU-PF government, how much of that 100 million will go into Zimbabwe common purse or wallet, and how much of it will go into individual pockets? That's the problem, because ZANU-PF is known for having received loads and loads of such kind of investments hitherto, and we never see what has become of that investment. So for the time being, all I can say is the only wrong thing is that we still have got ZANU-PF in power, and we are likely to have ZANU-PF in power after the elections because of the squabbling that is happening in my beloved party. But if we can unite all the forces that are opposition and we fight one battle, we might be happy to have that 100 million, won't we? It's only 4 months. Will they have gone through 100 million in 4 months? Maybe.
Yeah, for sure. In 1 month they can go through that.
So for me, if that money is given to good people to manage, it will be a good starting point, and I truly encourage the UK to release another 100 million on top of that 100 million as well.
So you think
why money?
You think this is a good development?
As long as the money is going towards, it's a good development, because I don't want my people sleeping in front of banks waiting for money, man.
All right, okay. Aiwa Sekuru. Zvirkunzikwa, thank you so much for that. Yeah, so thank you so much, Sekuru, for that.
Lost to connect here.
All right. I think Sekuru Murukita problem, but anyway, we've heard what you have to say. Tete Rasta.
Yes, so on the issue of the $100 million dollar loan, yeah, I think that it's a good thing for Zimbabweans, because the newspaper article stated that they're selecting a list of companies that will access this loan, and it's going to be in food processing, in manufacturing, and in the agricultural sector. So if the money is put into productivity and job creation, it really doesn't matter who's at the helm. Zimbabweans need to move on from being held hostage on the issues of sanctions for free and fair elections, and sanctions must continue until ZANU-PF comes out of power. That is national sabotage. It's treasonous. I'm not a ZANU-PF supporter, but the people that are suffering because of sanctions are the real people who cannot even afford to leave the country to go and get health care. So I think the sanctions mantra is obsolete now, and those who advocated for it, I think the timing of the release of the loans is rather questionable, but if the MDC was in opposition for as long as it has been, through 2008, through the GNU, it went through to 2013 after Bumbiro Rakaiswa, there was no shift for electoral reforms, there was no real push or noise or havoc that enabled the laws to be aligned to the new constitution, which is now over 5 years old. Then we find ourselves in a situation where the opposition just doesn't quite get us there. So we don't want to be held hostage for a political party's advantage. In Inijangu, I've been watching the ED new dispensation. Chamisa is illegitimate in his own right because akavuta chin. Mnangagwa is illegitimate because akauya neku. When you look at the political landscape right now, we really are pushed between a rock and a hard place. But politicians will do what politicians do. But the people that are suffering are the masses. There was one of your callers who made a comment to say Murku diaspora driving nice cars, Murku access free healthcare and all this. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You can't afford to say that to people who are in diaspora because we are working double as much as you. I've got a brother with kidney failure and liver cirrhosis and advanced TB. I'm footing the bills from here as well as running my household. So our callers should not disrespect my diasporans because takabata chinichi nemi. Now Mnangagwa is doing things differently from Gushungo, which is good, but he has not been as effective because as a lawyer he should have fixed everything that was wrong constitutionally. Democratization, a move about that. I'm not impressed by this push for the economy because we were in splendid isolation because of poor human rights records. I'm a human rights activist. I sit on the board of the Restoration for Human Rights. Tistakatanga Chinich in 2007. There's been no shift in terms of the ED ZANU-PF to take Desidera off. And he takes responsibility for that.
Right.
So I'm not pro ZANU-PF. I'm not too keen on Chamisa because I know Nyepa. You have to. A man has to stand on a certain standard, integrity. That's what we are lacking. So I fear that we are going to go into a GNU at the end of this election period. But we need to get our house in order, irrespective of who's in power, because people are dying because they can't access healthcare, they can't get jobs, and this is diaspora, and people think we are enjoying ourselves.
Yet we are also suffering, working 7 days a week. Right. I know you are not here in the last few months, but I did ask a very passionate question here the other day about the whole panel really answered me. I really want a straight answer from you there before I move on. If election day was tomorrow and you are in Zimbabwe and you are registered to vote, who would you vote for?
What, a strategic vote or just the person I believe in principle is the right one?
No, you have to vote with the principles here. Who you would think is the better. You know, if you've got bad apples, there's someone, one of the apple is really rotten that you cannot even try to eat it. But the other one is rotten a little bit. You can maybe eat a corner of it. Where would you cast your vote? I resonate with Dr. Nkosana Moyo and this fellow Manyika. What's his name? Dr. Noah Manyika. They are clean and they talk sense, but they just are not hungry for this thing. They're not fighting hard enough. Yeah, but knowing that they're definitely not going to win this election. Because you're talking tactical voting here, isn't it? It's like in the UK, you vote the Lib Dems. You know that they are not going to go in, but it's a wasted vote, isn't it?
There's nothing wasted about standing on principle. And this is where I don't agree na tete vari America. Tete vataura zvinondinakidza chaizvo, tete vemashoko. Vandibata, but I disagree because on the fundamental, yekuti Chamisa akamira, he came to the UK. But murume anonyepa, even in a marriage, is a liability. Murume anonyepa and they want to run the country is a liability. And it's coincidental and it's not obvious. That man's lower lip was quivering like a child on Hardtalk because akanyepa kuti akasangana na Trump. And he couldn't even answer and have the grace to say, you know what, it was just an exaggeration or it was a figure of speech, or just to say, you know what, with the benefit of hindsight, I shouldn't tell porkies. You can't put someone like that at the helm of a country that really is in need of resuscitation. Where are the righteous men and women for Zimbabwe? I'll sooner put my vote where I think it can yield something, even if it doesn't win, because on principle I can sleep well at night.
Okay, Aywa. Thank you so much for that. Right, regarding the pana, Mkoma Wilbert was third in line. Mkoma Wilbert, what do you make of this loan that is going to be given there? A good thing for you? Sekuru and Tete Rasta thinks it's a good thing if it's going to benefit people on the ground, if it's not going in the pocket of the crocodile itself.
I think personally, I think the timing of it would be seen as trying to prop up ZANU-PF, and that is not good for democracy. That is not good for Zimbabwe. We have got the problem with the Chinese. The Chinese have been signing all these mega deals with ZANU-PF. And we all know it's meant to prop up ZANU-PF. That is not good for our democratic system. We want a democratic system where leaders are elected on the basis of what they've got to offer without somebody propping them up. Because if for instance, we do not have free, fair, and credible elections, I can tell you that the economy will not pick up. Because whether you like it or not, Britain as a country can afford, after all, they're using taxpayers' money in some of these cases. You know, maybe they've urged this particular bank to give the loan. But a private investor would not invest in a country that he knows that you don't have free, fair, and credible elections, because he knows the next thing that is going to happen, if there's going to be a change of government, is yet another coup or street protests. So the country is politically unstable. And if you think about it, Zimbabwe right now, whether we like it or not, this Zimbabwe is open for business. Mnangagwa has been out there advertising it, but there's been very little in terms of investment coming in. So personally, I think if it's Britain trying to prop up Mnangagwa, I think they're doing the wrong thing. I would prefer the US government's position, where they are really putting pressure on this government to say, hold free, fair, and credible elections. Because once we have got a credible elections, we can definitely say the government that is there is accountable to the people. And when you've got a government that is accountable to the people, you can put pressure on them to do the right thing. If you don't have a government that is accountable to the people, they will continue doing whatever they like. Mnangagwa, whether we like it or not, he has not addressed the issue of corruption, for instance. We know that the army was involved in the looting in Marange. We know that Chiwenga did not build that mansion with the salary that he was getting as a commander. We all know that. And we know that Mnangagwa is not going to do anything about it. And that is the kind of problem that the investor himself is also aware of. With that level of corruption, you always have endless problems. So as much as I would like to see Zimbabwe prosper, these kind of short-term solutions is what get us into this mess in the first place. If we cannot have free, fair, and credible elections, the economy will never pick up. Because no investor wants to invest in a country where the elections are rigged and the next change of government has got to be yet another coup, or there's got to be street protests. That is not helping us. We need to address the real problem and sit down and say, let's have free, fair, and credible elections. Doesn't matter who wins, as long as the elections are free, fair, and credible, because we know that person, whoever wins, if they don't perform, we can kick them out. We don't want to be stuck with ZANU-PF.
All right.
There is an article in Bulawayo 24 where Chiwenga was quoted speaking at some funeral, talking about ZANU-PF will rule forever. That is their mentality. That is what we've got to be careful about.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mukoma Wilbert, for that. Regarding pana Mukoma Benford. Mukoma Benford, what did you make of this money that is being loaned to Zimbabwe? The timing of it, is it a good thing for people on the ground? Is there anything sinister about it?
Yeah, DJ Sodza, this is a good thing. I'm really worried with what Wilbert is saying. This is not always about democracy. This is about people's lives, people's jobs, everyday people who are suffering in Zimbabwe. Now, the issue between Zimbabwe and UK, it was never an issue between Zimbabwe and UK. It was Mugabe versus UK. And the UK, they are not happy that Mugabe is out of the way. And to be honest, they see ED as a symbol of change because they were embarrassed to despite their own mistakes. Remember, UK failed to honor the longest agreement. And when the land reform happened, they are partly to blame for the chaos that we had. But because of Mugabe, they would never want to see Mugabe as considered, as victorious over them. So as long as Mugabe was there, they were going to stick with their stance. And now that is out of the way, they are realizing an opportunity. Before I finish my comment here on the issue of Mataura, I just want to say one of the guys Wamakaunza Basho several times, Stanley Zorowadza, Ziato used to support a lot, just made a statement today, and he said Zimbabweans should give ED a chance. Okay? Now, that coming from somebody like Stanley Zorowadza tells us a lot on what ED is doing. This loan facilities, I read about it. It's exciting. It's not money that is NPF, in contrary to what some of you were trying to say. This is not money that NPF can spend in 4 months. This is a loan facility that is coming with specific conditions aimed at revamping industries in Zimbabwe. So, if Butter Shoe Company was struggling to get money and loan facilities to bring in new machinery to process shoes in Gweru, they can access the facility, a loan facility, and they will repay. So it's not like it's free money or just a grant that is being given. This is a loan facility strategically meant to boost industry. And the question that you want to ask to people like Wilbert is, when we have revamped this industry, it means jobs for our own brothers. It means jobs for our own sisters. Why would it become a problem to you, even though we are going to have this so-called, there's never a free and fair election. It's a matter of perspective. It's how you look at it. Okay? So you can never say, that's why even here in the US, they're still crying. They think that the Russians helped Trump. 2 years later, they're still crying about that. And we can never talk about that. Now, this is where I want to agree with Tete Rasta and my comments here.
Yeah.
We have focused a lot on politics at the expense of our people. Because we hate ZANU-PF so much, it doesn't matter even if sanctions are imposed on our people, as long as we feel that ZANU-PF is being put in check. That mentality, I think, is what took us to where we are, and we should change that mentality and start to have a mentality that focuses on our people. Democracy, it's a process. If you look at the Western countries, it took them more than 3 centuries to get to where they are. And we are evolving. And this is what ED is kind of doing. It starts with that kind of process, those changes. And then you keep evolving until your democracy matures to the levels and they look at it and they say, this is what we should have in Zimbabwe. And they are forgetting that it's a process and it evolves. And we cannot keep our country stuck because we want to emulate democracy in my Western countries. That is my message, DJ. This is the best thing that has happened. So, and we should, we should thank the UK for giving our people this limelight.
All right, Aiwa. Thank you so much, Mukoma Benford, for that. Tetero, America, what do you make of this? Good for people on the ground in Zimbabwe? People are saying that this is very, very good.
DJ Sodza.
Yeah, we can't hear what you're saying because you cutting.
Okay. So you still can't hear me?
He's in trouble there.
Right. Hello. Can you hear me, sir?
DED.
Right.
Technology.
Hold on. Can anyone
train?
Can anyone hear me?
Came in and bulletins.
Hello, guys. Can anyone hear me there?
Somebody is trying to bring Hardtalk.
No, somebody's trying to. Somebody's trying
Sorry guys, I think something was happening there. So I was just playing a bit of music there. I don't know, I might be wrong, but I think we were having a slight problem there. I think you guys can hear me now. Teteroze, I was asking you what you think of this loan that is being given to Zimbabwe there. Do you think it's a good thing? And is there any, worries about the timing of it?
Well, I personally think, Zimbabwe getting foreign direct investment is a positive thing, but I question the timing, number one. And number two, everyone keeps saying that the ED is trying. I don't see the trying. I really don't, because I don't see the things that need to be in play. One of the things that's really important for investment is an honest, transparent government. We don't have that. Because I really hope we get this 100 million and we really put it to where it's supposed to be used. Not put it in and then in the end it doesn't really benefit, Zimbabweans. because that has been what has been going on for years, and this is why people also focused on the politics. But maybe if we change the government and we get some honest people in government who are transparent, who follow rule of law, we might be able to actually build the country, because Zimbabwe has so much corruption. And right now, I'll be honest with you, I don't feel confident about Mnangagwa and his leadership of fighting corruption. Right now, we've had hearings upon hearings of corrupt leaders in parliament, all these hearings, but not yet. I have not seen one person arrested. Even Whitney Chivayo, after people even saw the solar panels that were non-existent, whatever this for the solar project, you think the millions went into it. He was still not arrested. No one has actually ever has been arrested for corruption in Zimbabwe. So what has really changed? Is this? And if I was my whole thing with Zimbabwe and putting money into Zimbabwe is, if I was the person putting in money in Zimbabwe, I would come in and pay for whatever needs to be paid, but I would never give anyone money directly anymore, because it never goes where it needs to go.
So
that's my greatest concern.
So you want to go back to what Claire Short and Tony Blair did and say, look, we're not going to give money to government. If you want to build a school there, we'll send contractors to build that school, but we are not giving money to you, Mugabe.
Not even send contractors. If I was going to give you money in Zimbabwe, yes, I would send my contractors. I would hire people in Zimbabwe. I would do all these things. I would set up the payroll. I would make sure they were paid directly by whatever we set up. I would pay the contractors, whoever was providing. If the Zimbabwe contractors supplying stuff, I would pay those people directly. But I would never give anything directly to the government.
Okay.
If there is a company that needs resuscitation, I'll say to Rakona budget, what do you need? Who are the contractors you have? Let's look at it. Let's pay those people. Let's set up the payroll. To make sure not putting Marisa Zoshika, you can push pocket money, you can put 2 million, you can push pocket money, you can put 10 million. I am not confident. To me, nothing, when it comes to ED, nothing to me has changed. I have not seen one corrupt person arrested in Zimbabwe. I've seen a lot of hearings, but nothing has ever come from any of those hearings. And the person who's conducting hearings is another criminal called Temba Mliswa. And somehow we're supposed to think that something has changed. And from what ED says, I will arrest corrupt ministers after elections. Really? You can't arrest them now? I don't buy it. I think investment is good for Zimbabwe, but I don't actually believe Kuti $100 million is actually going to the last penny in Shika. What's going to happen in Zimbabwe, the way corruption works is, achapa mwana wake company mwana wake wabhadha vanzi contract wabhila waita zvana weekend uchivhaya ndiri kubhila ndiri kubasere zviita zvakazoti. This is what has been happening in Zimbabwe, and I really hope Kuti this is not going to be the same case.
Right, regai tifambire mberi nechirongwa maita basa teteros with that sentiment. Ndira kunzwa kuna Vapeve, good thing for people to get money in Zimbabwe, these loans, they are going to help people, aren't they?
Look, personally, in principle, I have no problem with that.
Okay.
But look, this is 100 million. 100 million it's nothing.
Yeah.
And it's coming through Standard Chartered Bank, any loan. So you find with people are trying to access the loan. Anyway, Akuna minister wezano asina business. Here, as we speak, they are busy cooking up some figures, Yema project proposal to take that money. But let me say, Kuti, people may look at that institutionally. I've got a problem. I question the logic and the timing, because, mind you, this is not the first time that UK has given money to Zimbabwe. Since 2012, UK has been giving 88 million pounds to Zimbabwe every year through DAFID. But I end up through non-government organizations. achibetsera in terms of road development, water, clean water, etc., etc. That money through non-government organization have actually filtered literally to the people. So you can go to the rural areas, you can actually see my boreholes, you can go to my clinics, yes, you can see medication, maybe in short supply, but at least something is being done. Let me also say that January 2018, takapiwa 502 million Zimbabwe got from the Global Fund, but that was earmarked for Minister of Health in terms of kutinga ichita mitigate HIV and AIDS, including medication. So we have been receiving more money than this this small figure of 100 million. And I think the best way would have been my international organization, including UK, e-contingency, EOPA, people of Zimbabwe on the ground directly rather than Kutipinde through the government. That's my own view.
Aiwa. Thank you so much for the well spoken there. Is it a good thing that this loan, I mean, it's not much, but every little helps, I'm told.
Hakuna chemahari kana mushana chaiwo unotoubhadhara haungadziye zuva usiri panhu panobhadharwa. So people should know kuti havasi kungopuhwa out of the goodness of British. Remember, the British are the most stingiest people you can find on the planet. So in essence, what I'm saying is, you know what, everybody is now looking what? Ma-West vakaona kuti takavisa ma-rules and ma-policies asiri kushanda and so forth and so on. Vanhu vanga vakuita look east. So now to stem that, vakudzoka back vachioffer these packages, but then the question becomes, at what rate kuitwa payment, payback? And then going right down to basics, going back to basics. What are we doing getting ma 100 million and then we clapping hands? What happened to $15 billion Yema diamonds? Really? I mean, tinema resources, natural resources, that Maria Varkupua, that's a drop in an ocean. They may affect people when you are being
Right.
ndapedza zvangu ndapopota hangu hapana zvemara vanhu vari kubatira Zimbabwe and it's disappointing the mere fact yekuti vanhu vese vari kutoti yowe kamari and kachabatsira papi. No, go back to basics. Right. From uranium we have got diamonds, we have got what you call it, kurima chaiko chaiko, we have the most fertile land, amongst other things that we can actually do. Jatina zvedu, then we are being pacified in 100 million so that they come back into our books again, and then at dealer in China, and then even having a conversation about it. We shouldn't be having a conversation. This should be a non-story period.
Okay, thank you so much. Again, we're getting some of the messages coming through. This one is saying that this loan is political. Hakuna loan inopiwa kuhurumende when elections are upcoming. How do they know kutizana ndio ichawina? This one is saying tetewe kulodza chitipai zvekare lita asikunye. I think that was the old thing. it's good kupiwa mari as long as it's properly used to benefit a new Zimbabwe. That's another thing.
Engineer wemudzingie basa.
The engineer wamukose ku. I mean, not say good. Anyway, regaindi nditaure ndichiti kune message yambopinda kunoku earlier on ichinzi iyo DJ ndinokumbirawo kuti pachirongwa penya muzombotaure nezve prostate cancer. Oh, babangu chirambi. Right, okay. That's interesting. Now, someone wants us to talk about prostate cancer in the near future. And someone also wants us to talk about why young men are committing suicide, especially here in the diaspora. Amen. Mkoma Wilbert. Mkoma Wilbert.
Hello.
Do you think it's worth discussing?
You're coming in and out.
Ah, okay, all right. Now, I tell you what we'll do. What we'll do is we'll see what we can do Zimbabwe on these issues. The prostate cancer issue. Why young men are deciding to take their own life. You know, what's causing that. So one of these fine days we'll come up with such topic and we'll discuss them. But kwanas tatandara zvakwana muri yeZimbabwe. Moa ne kurara ne kuswera ne kumuka kwakanaka. And I wish you a fabulous weekend. And we shall meet again next week, same time, same place. My thanks to all those that participated on the show. You guys rock, and we cannot do the show without your support. So, Zoti, is anyone still hearing me there? Tete Rasta, can you still hear me?